Soldiers at a military base suddenly erupted in commotion on an afternoon that should have been routine and calm, only because of one simple yet deeply meaningful thing: Jungkook's smile, a member of BTS, after receiving a secret message from Jimin. Why did that brief expression trigger a wave of emotional reactions among the soldiers? Was this merely a personal interaction, or did it hold greater significance in the psychological dynamics of soldiers on duty? The incident was reported to have occurred during Jungkook's mandatory military service, where daily activities usually take place with strict discipline and minimal moments of leisure. However, an internal source stated that the moment began when an officer handed Jungkook an internal service phone to receive a personal message. No one knew the contents of the message, but the smile that appeared immediately after he read it became the center of attention in the entire room. Soldiers who witnessed it firsthand described the atmosphere as instantly shifting from silence to full of whispers. Nonverbal communication experts assessed that the spontaneous smile was most likely an honest emotional response, indicating a strong interpersonal bond between the sender and recipient of the message. In a military context where expression control is part of the discipline culture, such a moment is considered rare. The smile, although lasting only a few seconds, sparked various speculations. Was the message merely support, an inside joke, or good personal news? The soldiers' reactions were varied. Some admitted they were entertained and felt connected emotionally, as if they too could feel the warmth of that communication. Others saw the moment as a reminder that behind the uniforms and heavy duties, soldiers are still human beings with meaningful personal relationships. The fact that the interaction involved two public figures with a global fan base only magnified the spotlight. Social media did not remain silent. Even though no official video was released, bits of the story from eyewitnesses began circulating, accompanied by fans' interpretations and analyses. Hashtags like #JungkookSmile and #message from Jimin briefly trended across platforms. This phenomenon illustrates the strong appeal of emotional narratives involving public figures, even when they occur in typically closed environments like military barracks. From a sociological perspective, this moment shows how a small symbol, in this case a smile, can serve as a catalyst for collective conversation. Researchers of human relationships in stressful situations note that signs of affection, support, or inside humor play a major role in maintaining morale. In Jungkook's case, the secret message from Jimin was not just personal communication, but also a representation of solidarity that could break through the boundaries of military protocol. A media analyst stated that the impact of this incident could be likened to a small earthquake among fans and the military's internal environment. Its echoes spread widely, not only because of who was involved, but also because of the context. A smile appearing in an environment often associated with rigidity and formality. As a result, the public received a rare glimpse into the human side of mandatory military service that is seldom exposed. Speculation about the content of the message may never receive an official answer. However, it is precisely this uncertainty that makes it even more interesting to discuss. For some, the moment was simply a warm interaction between colleagues. For others, it was proof that deep personal relationships can provide positive energy even in the most pressing situations. The soldiers in uproar. Incident over Jungkook's smile after receiving a secret message from Jimin not only left questions, but also opened a broader discussion about the role of emotions, social relationships, and communication within the military environment. From a journalistic standpoint, this is the kind of story that proves sometimes the smallest details bring the greatest impact, and the public, it seems, never tires of seeking its meaning. In the days following the incident, reports emerged that the atmosphere in Jungkook's unit felt lighter and more relaxed. Some fellow soldiers were said to have used the moment as material for inside jokes, even turning it into a tension breaker during intensive training schedules. After that, "We had a story that could make everyone smile in the middle of the pressure," said one source who requested anonymity. This phenomenon shows that emotional communication, even in something as simple as a smile, can have a domino effect on group dynamics. In military psychology literature, this is often referred to as a micro-moment of connection, a brief moment capable of strengthening bonds between individuals and reducing collective stress. When such a moment involves a respected or widely recognized figure, its impact can multiply, even influencing the public narrative beyond the internal sphere. BTS fans around the world responded to this news with enthusiasm. Online forums were filled with detailed analyses, from Jungkook's facial gestures, the duration of his smile, to the possible words sent by Jimin. Some interpreted the message as moral support ahead of a heavy training phase, while others speculated about good personal news. Although there was no official clarification, each theory only added layers of mystery that kept the story alive in the public space. Popular culture observers view this case as a clear example of how a celebrity's public image remains relevant even while undergoing strict military service. Jungkook, long known for his warm and humble personality, managed to maintain his emotional appeal even off the entertainment stage. His smile became a reminder that human interaction never loses its news value, especially when it occurs in a rarely revealed context. Furthermore, the soldiers in Uproar case also highlights the interconnectedness between private and public spaces in the digital era. On one hand, Jimin's secret message was private communication. On the other hand, the reaction radiating from Jungkook's smile made it instantly a subject of open discussion. The line between privacy and public consumption is increasingly blurred, and this phenomenon shows how quickly an intimate moment can turn into a collective event. Mass communication researchers predict that stories like this will continue to be part of the media ecosystem, especially in an era when every detail of a public figure's behavior can be monitored, shared, and analyzed instantly. In this case, a moment lasting no more than a few seconds managed to trigger a wave of discussion that lasted for days, and perhaps even weeks. Finally, regardless of the message's contents that remain a secret, one thing becomes clear: Jungkook's smile has created a wide emotional resonance. It reminds us that even in the midst of the harsh busyness of military life, there is room for warmth, humor, and sincere personal relationships.